Up next on Finding Retail Buyers and Merchants, we're going to talk about networking and not just your entrepreneur groups. We're going to talk about bigger and broader networking. Stay with us. If there's one thing that big companies do a lot differently than entrepreneurs, it's where they spend their time. I've found in just my 8 years of dealing with entrepreneurs trying to get them into retail, they spend a lot of time with each other. Big companies spend a lot of time inside of the industry. And so when we talk about networking, I don't want to just talk about, a local group of entrepreneurs that meets up and has beers every Thursday night. That's great. And those people are invaluable for a lot of different resources. And maybe they can find a buyer, contact information. I found a lot of them aren't even in the same industries, right? So it's different if you're dealing with people that are trying to do a service industry or something. But bringing something to the table is going to be key. And what I mean by that is when you're talking to people, don't be the person that's always asking for something. Bring things to the table, right? Answer other, be helpful. The nice thing about networking is it's not just buyer contacts. It's support, EDI support, supply chain, logistics, 3PL. There's all kinds of great conversations that can happen that you can all lean on each other. But what I want to talk about today is industry networking. So this is a little bit tricky because you will get into positions where you might be talking to a competitor, and that stance just don't. But let's use an industry like shoes, right? If you're in the shoe industry, if you know someone who's not a direct competitor and you're part of that, an industry network group, great. That's a great way to hopefully find information or buyers. Let's say you sell kid shoes and someone else is selling women's shoes. You're not directly competing, but if they have a great relationship with a retailer, then you have great conversations with them to ask for an introduction isn't bad, even if it's with the woman's shoe buyer. Like we said before, sometimes you're not always going to get the person, but if you can get close enough, you can make a contact, and that's enough to at least get the ball rolling. Another thing about the industry, as opposed to, just a group of people doing a similar thing. And I'll use biking as an example because my wife worked in the biking industry for a nonprofit group. Now, here's a crazy thing. If you are trying to find buyers, right, in the biking community, they might be bikers. They're definitely connected to the biking community. So joining an organization that's even outside of manufacturing, right? So adventure cycling, Rails to Trails, these are places that build trails and help support nonprofit biking exploration and all this great stuff. Guess who's on their board? A lot of biking manufacturers and things like that might have contacts. And so even when I talk about inside of the industry, it could be as simple as, hey, let's go back to our shoe example. I've got kids' shoes. What about Girls on the Run? Girls on the Run is a great organization. If you can find out how to tie and support them, there's a good opportunity that they will support you back. And there's a really good opportunity or probability that they know people inside of that community, right? To me, this is like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. They might not know that person, but they probably know someone who knows that person, right? And so when I talk about networking, it's not just within a group of entrepreneurs. It's within the industry. It's around the industry. Those networking groups can really get you into those positions that who knows, right? And maintaining those networks over time is crucial and key. And I'll give you a real live example on that one. One of my old buyers from Walmart, and this happens a lot, by the way, left Walmart and now works with a supplier. And we were at a Walmart supplier summit, a get together of Walmart trying to tell the suppliers what they're going to go through, information for the next year, all that kind of stuff. Well, you walk around afterwards and you bump into people and you're talking to people. And I ran into one of my old buyers who had left Walmart, was now on the supplier side. And we just started a friendly conversation, just asking how things were going, talking about family, because we'd worked together for years. And so he asked what projects I was working on. And I mentioned one of the projects was in a specific industry. And he's like, oh, like, do you know so-and-so? And I said, no, I don't know them. I just started this up. And he's like, I'll introduce you guys. Like, they're great. Don't worry about it. Just like that. And you want to know what's better than a cold call? A formal introduction from somebody that is trusted. Like, that is an absolute golden ticket. Like, it is the moment where so-and-so is speaking on behalf of you is absolutely huge. And you never know where those networks may lead. The farther and farther you get down in trying to make contacts and relationships with buyers, a network could be inside of your own family. I know one of the entrepreneurs that I was working with had a friend of the family that worked at a retailer. And we were just sitting there talking one day, like, man, this would be a great retailer. And I'm like, I think you got a friend whose aunt works there. Go talk to him. It doesn't hurt to talk as long as you are open, honest. You're not being pushy. You're not being a jerk. It's okay to have those conversations, right? Any startup knows that you just have to keep talking and keep networking until you find the right people. So our action item for this week is pretty simple. I want you to go find a brand new industry networking group that's out there and join it, right? It could be direct. It could be indirect. It could be nonprofit. It could be whatever. Be creative. Just understand that if you become part of that network, if it's tied to or around the industry, chances are there's going to be people who know people that can get you some information, including what this is all about, right? Buyer, merchant contact information. So networking is a huge, huge thing. Stick with us next time. Next time, we're going to get into the pros. I'm going to show you why I might have an easier time finding a Walmart buyer than you do. And then when is it the right time to bring someone in? And I'm going to give a little teaser. If you think finding a buyer is hard, finding a sales rep that is good might just be harder. So I hope you join us next time.